and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 16 team selection video with me, Holly Shand. I'm going to be bringing you the Gameweek 16 deal sheet with news of Mitrovic out. I'm also going to be looking at my own team in terms of my transfer, team selection and a very tricky captain decision. If you're new around here, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that notify button that will remind you about my Friday press conference stream, which comes at 1 PM, which will coincide with Pep Guardiola's press conference. Let's get into it. I'm recording this video on Thursday lunchtime then, and news has just emerged that Mitrovic is set to miss Serbia's first World Cup group game because of a foot injury, supposedly broken bone. So that's why we didn't see him in game week 15, and he's not going to be available in game week 16 either. So now we need to transfer him out. But who do we replace him with? Well, I've picked out Liverpool's Darwin Núñez. Liverpool got a lovely home game against Southampton. You could easily pick Firmino in there as well, but I think either of them make a really nice differential this week, and they are an attack that's in form, performing a lot better with Salah central. There are other options to consider as well. If you don't own Gabriel Jesus at the moment, his ownership's really high. Great ability of getting goals and assists, and an away fixture at Wolves seems like a really nice one for Arsenal. Since the international break, Wolves have conceded more goals than any other team, with 15 goals conceded across 7 fixtures. So it is a great fixture to target. Callum Wilson owners, I think we need to wait for news in Eddie Howe's press conference, but he has had the sniffles, he's had a bit of a cold, but hopefully that's the thing of the past and he'll be available this weekend to face Chelsea. So one to keep an eye on, but probably right now you've got bigger issues elsewhere, and Wilson's likely to feature in some capacity. Hopefully he'll start maybe from the bench. Moving on to midfield, and I've actually moved Foden into the monitor list from the sell list because he was rested in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday night for Manchester City. So I think there's a chance that he could start at the weekend against Brentford. Manchester City is the early kickoff, so we could get team leaks, but we could also be wrestling with the FPL website. So that's why he's a monitor. But I think as an owner of Foden, there is certainly some hope right now. In terms of the sell list, I've identified Mason Mount. He's quite highly sold among FPL managers this week, and rightly so, because he's not been delivering. He's been a disappointing player to own this season. He's still in just under 10% of teams, but with no attacking returns in his last 4 and Chelsea's form dwindling, it's now time to move him on. I really like James Maddison as a replacement because his underlying numbers in game week 15 were really impressive. He's basically averaging an attacking return a game at the moment. If you don't own Bukayo Saka, then obviously he is a good option to consider as well for a replacement in midfield. Moving into defence then, and I really rate Arsenal's clean sheet chances away at Wolves. William Saliba's been a player that I've been avoiding over the last few weeks because he was 1 yellow off for suspension, but that doesn't matter now, so I think he could be a great buy. He's already got 3 attacking returns this season. Gabriel scored the last aerial goal for Arsenal, so it's probably Saliba's turn now. On the sell list is Diogo Dalot, who has fallen foul of suspension now with 5 yellow cards. So he's been quite highly purchased over the last few weeks, but now is the time to move him on. And on the monitor list, I've got Perisic. He looked fantastic against Liverpool in game week 15. He was playing out of position as a forward alongside Kane. However, that occurred again in the Carabao Cup in midweek, but it looks like Richarlison and Kulusevski are ready to come back into the fold for Spurs. Sessegnon picked up a little bit of an injury issue as well, so we could see Perisic move back to the wing-back role. So depending on his position, he could be a very good fantasy pick for this weekend against Leeds. If we get some news that he is going to be starting as an attacker, I'd bring him in, but I'm a little bit less hot on him as a transfer in if he's going to be playing in his general wing-back role. Moving on to goalkeepers then, and Brentford's David Raya has got the worst clean sheet potential this weekend against Manchester City. Leicester's clean sheet hopes don't look great either, so I think it's fine to sell Raya this week using a free transfer and bringing in someone like Alisson as a luxury move. If you haven't got issues elsewhere, you may as well firm up that goalkeeper spot for this week. Alisson has impressed in recent games. He's got an assist this season. And if you look in the goalkeeper potential, only Nick Pope has got more FPL points than Alisson this season. On the subject of Nick Pope, managers may be looking at that fixture against Chelsea at home thinking they don't want to start Pope in that game. But I think he is a very good pick. Still, Newcastle have only conceded 4 goals since the international break. They've kept 3 clean sheets in that time, and they're second best for the number of big chances conceded. Chelsea are not in form right now, so do not worry about starting your Newcastle defensive assets in this fixture. Looking at my own side then, and I've got more flags than an Olympic opening ceremony right now. It's looking like a bit of a disaster. However, I am going to give Foden a reprieve and hope that he starts against Brentford. And Callum Wilson, I'm hoping that he's available as well. Tomiyasu is going to have to stay on the bench. Mitrovic is the one to replace. The trouble for me is that I can't get to the likes of Jesus or Darwin Núñez or Firmino. I've only got 6.8 million in the bank. I can't get Alvarez in either because I've already got triple City. So by the process of elimination, the only player that I can really get to is Solanke. But he could come good anyway. It's a good fixture at home to Everton. Solanke's got 7 attacking returns this season. He's on penalties as well, so I'm happy to roll the dice and take the risk. Now, if you've got 2 free transfers and you've got a Mitrovic problem, it may be a case of upgrading elsewhere, or if you've got funds in the bank and improving a player in a different position and benching Mitrovic. But I've not got that luxury given, my squad and my value at the moment. So it's looking like Mitrovic out and Solanke in, but I will confirm my final team reveal and transfer on Friday's press conference stream once we've got all the information in. Looking at my team selection then, the squad kind of picks itself. I'm not worried about the Newcastle boys at home to Chelsea. It's captaincy that's probably going to be my biggest problem. I've got Haaland, I've got Salah. They're the 2 players that I'm looking at now. For me, I was a little bit concerned by Pep's comments in the week that Haaland still isn't right. He's got that ligament damage in his foot. He had to play him as a bit part against Fulham because Man City were at risk of losing that game or at least not getting the 3 points secure. So he was forced to play him, but then in the Carabao Cup in midweek against Chelsea, he stayed on the bench the whole game. Now we're coming up to the break for the World Cup. Haaland isn't going to the World Cup. Does Pep risk him against Brentford? I think we could easily see another situation where Haaland is on the bench, and if he's needed, he can come on. He may play limited minutes. He may not come on at all. Now, because this week we've got a fantastic captain candidate in Salah, who's averaging a goal a game in all competitions at the moment, has looked in red-hot form since moving central, taking a lot more shots than he was doing when he was on the wing. And a little Thursday throwback for you, Salah has 10 attacking returns in 9 Premier League appearances against Southampton. Because I've got a valid alternative, I think I'm probably going to captain Salah and vice-captain Haaland. Let me know in the comments your plans for this week. Are you going to captain Salah, Haaland, someone else? We've also got Kane in there that's looking like a really good alternative captain this week. If you've enjoyed this one, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well and hit the notify, and then you'll get that notification when I go live with my press conference stream, which is coming on Friday at 1 p.m. Good luck everyone for FPL Game Week 16.